This is an update from a video I posted yesterday where I was messing around with Google Maps and Google Earth and came up with a interesting occurrence when I typed in CERN into the search bar. So today we're going to type them in both applications and see what happens. It actually takes us directly to CERN with the proper heading of CERN instead of Illuminati, which we saw yesterday. If we click the pin, same thing happens. It pulls up the same address. Obviously it's been corrected since yesterday, but it's very interesting. Yesterday when you typed in CERN into either of those applications, Illuminati would come up as the name instead of CERN. So let's try it in Google Earth just to make sure that we're doing the same experiment as we did yesterday. And sure enough, it pulled up CERN, exact same location, and as we click the pin, we can clearly see it is labeled as CERN with the correct address and heading of CERN instead of Illuminati. Very interesting that was changed in one day. We literally just discovered this yesterday, and today it has changed. So another thing that I was noticing is, I know this is a little off topic, but and a little more down the conspiracy realm, but when I typed in FEMA camps into the search bar, some interesting locations came up. There was obviously all their main headquarters, which there's one in Alaska, there's definitely one in Hawaii, you know, West Coast, Central, East Coast. And down here, if you type in FEMA camps, Guantanamo Bay, yeah, that came up, the detention camp down there. It's even been raided 341 times. The Supreme Court shows up as one of the pins as well. Let's try to zoom in here on some of these in the corner. We got Supreme Court, there's Grant Cottage, and McGregor Correctional Facility. There's Camp Grayling up here in Michigan. It's just interesting that you type in that specific phrase and these locations happen to pop up. And obviously the rest of these are all actual FEMA locations. When I did type this in earlier, when I initially found this discovery, there was a Chicago task force, I believe, around in this area that was showing up, and there was also in Illinois somewhere, Indiana, there was some kind of an Amtrak building facility or fixing facility for the trains. That showed up when I typed in that too. So let's see what locations show up on Google Maps now. It has been a few minutes since I've tried it on here, so maybe a few more locations might not show up, or they may show up. Let's see. Okay. So some of the same places actually showed up. Guantanamo Bay showed up on both of these right here. You can see that, Guantanamo Bay Detention Camp. The Supreme Court's actually a little more highlighted on this one. There's actually a place called FEMA Camp. There's Grant Cottage. There's Camp Grayling showed up on both these again. Valley Schools showed up, and then this little place in Colorado, Disaster Emergency Management, I guess some kind of institute, showed up. But it is interesting typing that particular phrase, and I'm not going to explain the background behind what that phrase means, but for those of you that do know what that means, it is interesting that there is something that shows up on Google publicly about something that is definitely a conspiracy theory. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, they definitely changed the CERN name since yesterday, so enjoy the rest of your evening.